There's a quiet kind of guilt that follows us around. That feeling that we should be stronger, that if we just had more willpower, more focus, more grit, we'd finally become the person we promised ourselves we'd be. But what if that story's wrong? What if you're not weak, just surrounded by the wrong cues? Most of us blame our discipline when we should be redesigning our environment. Because our surroundings shape us long before our resolutions do. Not loudly, but gently. One whisper, one placement, one habit at a time. If you stay with me through this story, you'll see how small design choices can quietly outperform big bursts of motivation. And you'll understand why the question isn't, how strong am I? It's, how kind is the space I live in? Before we begin, take a second, not to promise yourself a whole new life, just to anchor this moment. Write these words somewhere, even in the comments if you'd like. Not for me, but for you. I'm learning to design for who I want to be. Because that's where real change starts. Not in the mind, but in the room around you. I used to think I just needed more willpower. More motivation, more of that invisible fire that gets people up at 5 a.m. and sends them running marathons before breakfast. You know that kind of fire, the one you see in other people and wonder, why can't I feel that every morning? For a long time, I believed that's what I was missing. I told myself, if I were just stronger, if I were more disciplined, if I could only push a little harder, then everything in my life would finally click. But over time, I learned something simpler and kinder. Most of us don't need stronger willpower. We need smarter surroundings. Because habits, real, lasting habits, aren't built on discipline. They're built on design. The world around us quietly shapes who we become. Not through big moments, not with thunder or lightning, but with whispers. Soft, gentle, everyday whispers that guide our hands, our eyes, our choices. And the truth is, your environment is always talking to you. Sometimes it invites you to rise. Sometimes it pulls you to drift. Let me tell you how I discovered that truth, the easy way. Not through another failure or some grand epiphany, but through a small, almost funny experiment that changed how I saw everything. It started when I began to redesign my life, so the good things became easier, and the bad things just a little harder. A few years ago, I was working in a co-working space. You can picture it, the smell of fresh coffee in the air, that hum of ambition at every table, screens glowing like miniature suns in a galaxy of caffeine and dreams. Everyone was chasing productivity. Everyone had plans, goals, notebooks full of color-coded determination. And half of us, if we're honest, we were just chasing another cup of coffee. I had one simple goal: drink more water. Just water. Something my grandmother used to remind me of. Dale, your mind can't run on dust. How hard could that be? And yet every single day ended the same way. 2 coffees, maybe a soda, and that same guilty promise whispered to myself before bed, tomorrow I'll do better. But tomorrow never changed. Because I wasn't fighting laziness, I was fighting my surroundings. Then one afternoon, something so small happened that it made me laugh out loud. I looked at my desk, really looked at it. My coffee mug sat right beside my keyboard, close enough that I could sip without breaking my flow. And my water bottle? Across the room, on a shelf by the printer, half full, forgotten. It wasn't a willpower problem. It was a geography problem, so I made one tiny change. I switched them. I put the water bottle right in front of me, center stage, in the spotlight. And I moved the coffee mug to the far side of the office, not gone, just distant enough to require a small pilgrimage. And here's the part that still makes me smile. The next day, I didn't decide to drink more water, I just did. Because it was right there, because it was the easiest thing to reach. No fight, no inner debate, no guilt, just design. And within a week, the lesson landed so clearly it felt like a truth I'd always known. Discipline isn't about wrestling your impulses, it's about designing your environment so your impulses work for you, not against you. We love to say change begins in the mind, but most change, my friend, begins on the desk, on the countertop, on the home screen of your phone. Our surroundings whisper to us, quietly, constantly, irresistibly. The snacks on your counter, the icons on your phone, the notifications that blink at the corner of your eye. Each one is a nudge, each one a gentle steering wheel turning your day 1 degree at a time. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our environment. And that's the moment I started experimenting with something I now call useful friction. Every habit, I realized, lives at the intersection of ease and resistance. If something's easy, you'll do it, even if it's bad for you. If something's hard, you'll delay it, even if it's good for you. So the trick, my friend, is simple. Make the good things easier, make the unhelpful things harder. No guilt, no lectures, just smart design. And once you understand that, the whole game changes. Because now you're not trying to overpower your habits, you're quietly engineering them. Let me give you another story, a small one, but it changed how I use every device in my life. My phone used to be both my favorite toy and my worst enemy. You know that feeling? You pick it up to send one quick message, and half an hour later, you're watching a video about penguins forming lifelong relationships. Touching? Yes. Productive? Not so much. I kept blaming myself. I'd say, why can't I focus? Why do I keep checking this thing? What's wrong with my attention span? But the answer wasn't moral. It was mechanical. My phone was designed for distraction. Every red bubble was a hook, every colorful icon, a tiny door to somewhere else. And every sound, every ping was a whisper. Come back, come back, come back. So, one weekend, I decided to redesign the battlefield. I wiped my first home screen clean. No social, no news, no email. Just a calendar, a notes app, and a little weather widget. All the sticky apps, the tempting ones, I buried 3 screens deep, hidden where a little laziness could finally protect me. Then I turned on time limits for the rest. Nothing drastic, just enough to make distraction inconvenient. The next morning I reached for my phone out of habit, and for the first time in years, nothing called my name. No red bubbles, no flashing candy colors, no shiny rewards. For a brief moment I felt bored, then I felt calm, and then I started working. It's amazing how quiet your mind becomes when your phone stops whispering your name. And that's when it hit me. This principle applies everywhere. You don't have to fight your habits, you can trick them. Want to read more? Leave a book open where you sit. Want to exercise more? Put your shoes by the door and your mat on the floor. Want to sleep better? Charge your phone across the room, or better yet, in another room. Want to write daily? Place your notebook and pen where the clutter used to live. You don't need a stronger character. You need fewer obstacles between you and the life you want. Sometimes that obstacle is as simple as a cookie jar. So come with me for a moment to my kitchen. For years, I had a nightly ritual I wasn't proud of. Brush my teeth, turn off the lights, and 10 minutes later, I'd be back at the fridge like it was the door to wisdom. You know that voice in your head that says, just a small snack? Well, I listened. And in my hand, I'd be holding a spoon the size of a shovel. It became a pattern. Guilt, sugar, regret. Every night, the same little dance. And one evening, I didn't swear off snacks forever. I didn't give a dramatic speech to my reflection about discipline. I just changed the map. I moved all the night foods, the ice cream, the cookies, the chocolate, to the back of the freezer, underneath the frozen peas, out of sight, slightly inconvenient. Then I set a bowl of almonds and a jug of cold water right on the counter, front row, ready. The next evening, I opened the fridge door, and what did I see? Not temptation in neon letters, just water, almonds, peace. So I poured a glass, grabbed a handful, and went to bed. I didn't resist the bad choice. I designed for the good one. That, my friend, is the secret. We do what's easy. We avoid what's hard. So if you want to live better, make better living easier. People sometimes say to me, Dale, that sounds too simple. Exactly. That's the beauty of it. Change doesn't have to be heroic. It just has to be designed. You can't always control your feelings, but you can control your furniture. You can't predict your mood, but you can predict where the snacks are. You can't summon willpower on command, but you can set the stage so your next right step feels natural. Let's get practical, because wisdom is only as useful as the action it inspires. Try this little exercise. I call it one easier, one harder. Pick one good habit and make it easier. Want to hydrate? Keep water visible, within reach, already poured. Want to read? Leave a book open on your pillow. Want to meditate? Place a cushion by your bed and set a 2-minute timer on your watch. Now pick one unhelpful habit and make it harder. Want less social media? Log out each time. Move the app off your home screen. Set a PIN you don't memorize. Want fewer late-night snacks? Put them on the top shelf, inside a container, behind something heavy. Want to stop doom scrolling? Charge your phone outside the bedroom. Buy a $10 alarm clock. Do this for 7 days. Then review, adjust, redesign. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress that feels lighter than yesterday. Every time you tweak your surroundings, you teach your brain a new path, one that runs downhill instead of uphill. When your environment does the heavy lifting, your mind finally gets to rest. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop fighting tiny battles all day long. You just flow. It isn't magic, it's physics. Behavior follows friction. Less friction, more follow-through. Think about it. If your guitar gathers dust, maybe the case takes 5 seconds too long to unzip. If journaling faded away, maybe your notebook lives in a drawer. If your evening walks vanished, maybe your shoes hide in a closet. And if your screen time explodes, maybe your phone is always in your hand. Design the path, don't fight it. I remember a young manager I once coached. Bright mind, kind heart, full of drive. The kind of person who cared deeply about doing things right. But she came to me one afternoon looking tired, and she said, "Dale, every time I open my laptop, I end up shopping or reading the news. I lose hours. I don't even know how it happens." So I asked her, "Where do you keep your browser tabs?" She smiled, a little embarrassed. "Always open," she said. "I don't want to lose my place." And I smiled back. "Then you haven't lost your place," I said. "You've lost your peace." We closed everything, every tab, every window, and we left just one, her project page. Then we installed a simple blocker for shopping sites during work hours. Nothing fancy, just a tiny gate between her focus and her distractions. 2 weeks later, she wrote to me, "I get twice as much done, and I don't even think about it anymore." She didn't change her personality. She changed her environment, and that changed everything. Let's be honest. Most of us aren't lazy. We're just surrounded by temptations that are better designed than our goals. Marketers spend billions to build frictionless paths to distraction. Our job is simply to build a few gentle paths back to focus. Don't fight the current. Redirect it. And when you do, something quiet and powerful happens. Your energy starts to return. Your attention stops leaking through cracks in your day. You stop feeling like life is a battle of willpower and start feeling like it's a rhythm you can finally dance with. Now, let's zoom out for a second. What if life isn't a test of willpower, but a test of design? What if the key to change isn't try harder, but arrange smarter? Because every single day, your environment trains you. It decides whether your good intentions survive contact with reality. So the question isn't, am I strong enough? The real question is my environment kind enough to help me? That's what designing friction really means, creating spaces that quietly root for your better self. A home, a desk, a phone screen. Each one is a little coach. The question is, what is it coaching you toward? A few more examples from my own life. Because I don't believe in preaching something I don't practice. When I wanted to write every day, I didn't set a louder alarm or promise myself I'd get serious. I just set the stage. Each night before bed, I placed my notebook and pen on the kitchen table. Beside them, my coffee mug, waiting, like a friend ready to start the morning with me. So when the sun came up, I didn't have to think. I just sat down, sip, breathe, write. And that simple ritual, no pressure, no drama, turned into a rhythm. When I wanted to stop checking email before bed, I didn't make another rule. I moved my phone charger across the room. That 3-second walk at midnight was enough to whisper, "Tomorrow will be fine." When I wanted to call my family more, I didn't set reminders or alarms. I simply pinned their contact widget right where the news app used to be. Now my thumb learned a new home, one that opened conversations, not headlines. When I wanted fewer weeknight shows, I placed the TV remote in a cabinet and a paperback on the coffee table where the remote used to rest. The message to my future self was simple: if you want entertainment, make a choice. If you want peace, here it is. When I wanted to cook more meals at home, I stopped blaming my schedule. I pre-chopped vegetables on Sunday, kept a skillet on the stove, and made ready to start my default setting. And when I wanted to stop buying things I didn't need, I deleted my saved credit cards from every online store. I turned on a 24-hour cool-off list before any new purchase. No willpower, no battle, no guilt, just space to think before reacting. I didn't change who I was. I simply made it easier to be the version of me I liked more. Now, sometimes people say to me, "Dale, life isn't furniture." And I always smile and say, "True." But furniture shapes your life more than philosophy does. The space you live in either drains you or directs you. A messy desk whispers chaos. A clean counter invites action. A bright corner, it pulls you toward possibility. You can't meditate in a tornado. You can't focus in a room that screams distraction. But when your environment breathes clarity, so do you. Try this week. Walk through your home, your office, even your car, and in each space ask yourself, what does this place make easy? What does it make hard? You'll start seeing patterns. Maybe your living room makes it easy to scroll but hard to talk. Maybe your desk makes it easy to check notifications but hard to create. Maybe your kitchen makes it easy to snack but hard to cook. Each observation is an invitation, an opportunity to redesign your path. And you don't have to renovate, you just have to rearrange. Move one thing, add one cue, remove one temptation, create one speed bump where you need a pause, create one on-ramp where you want momentum. Toss a bowl of fruit where the cookies used to sit. Keep a water carafe where the soda used to chill. Put your walking shoes by the door and a hat on the hook. Place your gratitude journal on your pillow so you can't go to sleep without touching it. Pin your big project file to your desktop. Hide the games, hide the gossip, hide the rabbit holes. Sometimes I think of it this way. Your environment is the invisible script of your day. You don't notice it until you rewrite it, but once you do, everything begins to flow with less resistance. And life, my friend, is a long conversation with resistance. You can push against it, or you can design around it. If you ever feel stuck, don't start by blaming yourself. Start by observing your surroundings. Your desk, your kitchen, your phone. They're not neutral. They're coaching you. Silently, persistently, every single day. So change one thing today, just one. Move your phone off the nightstand. Move your water within reach. Move your guitar onto a stand. Move your notebook into the light. Move your dreams into sight. And tomorrow, when you notice how easy the right thing suddenly feels, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't change who you are. You changed where you are. Because discipline isn't born in your mind, it's built in your environment. Tomorrow's discipline begins with today's design. And today is ready for you to begin. So here's my parting invitation, simple but strong. Pick one corner of your life and make one thoughtful change in the next 10 minutes. Pour water into a clear glass and set it beside your keyboard. Lay your shoes by the door, ready for a walk after dinner. Open a book to the first page and leave it waiting on your pillow. Pin the call that truly matters to the front of your phone. Delete one shortcut to distraction. Create one shortcut to who you want to become. Do that, and your environment will start doing what willpower could never do alone. It will carry you, quietly, faithfully, one small nudge at a time. Begin now. Begin small, and let the design do its work.